Baruch Hu. Boechem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei El Elyon. Mi melech, Malachei Hamachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei El Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seifem l'shalom, malachei HaShalom, malachei El Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're going to turn to page 25 as we light the Shabbos candles. And would you like to light the Shabbos candles for today?
Come, let us welcome Shabbat.
May His radiance illuminate our hearts.
Light is the symbol of the divine.
The eternal is my light and my salvation.
Light is the symbol of the divine within us.
The human spirit is the light of the eternal.
Light is the symbol of the divine law.
For the mitzvah is a lamp and a Torah a light.
Light is the symbol of Israel's mission.
I, the eternal, have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
May the Eternal bless us with Shabbat joy.
Amen.
May the Eternal bless us with Shabbat peace.
Amen.
May the Eternal bless us with Shabbat holiness.
Amen. We continue with L'chai Dodi on page 27. L'chai Dodi ligrat gala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chai Dodi ligrat gala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Hishmianu echad nuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem ol tiferet v'letila, L'chai Dodi ligrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chai Dodi ligrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Ligrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki hi mekor havarecha, Merosh mikedem nesuka, Sof ma'asa b'machretila, L'chai Dodi ligrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chai Dodi ligrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hit ori, Kiva ore kumi ori, ori shir daveri, Kavod Adonai alai nigla, L'chai Dodi ligrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chai Dodi ligrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. We face now the entrance or exit of our building as we welcome in the Shabbos bride. Boi v'shalom atzeret bala, Gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, Toch emunei am segula. Boi kala, L'chai Dodi ligrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chai Dodi ligrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Remain standing now for the Hatzi Kaddish on page 29 of our Siddur Readings. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, B'yom dibrach yirutei b'yom lich malchutei, B'chayechon u'yoymechon u'chayetecho be'Yisrael, Ba'agala u'izman kari v'yamaru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach, Le'olam olam me'almaya yitbarach, Yitbarak, v'yishtabak, v'yitba'ar, v'yitraman, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemini kudusha, v'rechu, leila mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'yalma, v'yameru, amen. Page 30, we join together for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMivorach. Baruch Adonai HaMivorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMivorach le'olam va'ed. Page 31. Eternal God, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, not let your glory depart from us. Help us become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamari Baravim. Blessed are you, O Eternal, who brings on the evening. Page 32. With eternal love you have loved your people, the house of Israel. Torah and commandments, statutes and judgments you've taught us. Therefore, O Eternal our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we would discuss your statutes and rejoice in the words of your Torah and your commandments forever. For they are our lives and they lengthen our days, and we will meditate upon them day and night. May you never remove your love from us forever and ever. Blessed are you, O Eternal, who loves God's people, Israel. Page 33, we join together for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. We join together for the V'ahavta. You may be seated. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatan levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'letecha b'derech u'shachbecha u'kumecha u'kshartan li'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha Leman tizkeru v'asitem ekol mitzvotai v'iten kiddushim lelechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher chotzeiti etchem mi'eretz Mitzrayim leot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Amen. Page 35, we join together for a responsive reading. Eternal truth is that you alone are God and there is none else.
May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares.
Let them beat their spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation not lift up sword against nation, let them study war no more.
You shall not hate another your heart, you shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Let the stranger be in your midst you as a native, for you were once strangers in the land of Egypt.
From the house of bondage we went forth to freedom, so let all be free and sing with joy.
Page 36, we join together from Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha, Balim Adonai, Mi Chamocha, Nedar Kodesh, Nora Teilot Oisei Fele, Machutecha Rubanecha, Bokeyam Nifne Moshe, Zeli Anu V'Amru, Adonai Imloch Leolam Va'ed. V'ne'emar ki farad Adonai et Yaakov v'gulom le'ezak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Page 37. Cause us, O Eternal our God, to lie down in peace and to awaken us each morning to life renewed with strength. Spread over us the holy shelter of your peace. Together.
Help us to order our lives by your counsel and lead us in the paths of righteousness. Be shield about us, protecting us from hate and war, from pestilence and sorrow.
Curb also within us the inclination to do evil and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Guard our going out and our coming into life from this time forth and forever.
Blessed are you, O Eternal, whose holy shelter of peace is spread over us, over all God's people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Page 38, we join together for Bishamru. Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasod et HaShabbat Le'doretan Berit Olam Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasod et HaShabbat Le'doretan Berit Olam B'nei u'bein B'nei Yisrael Oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat lasod et HaShabbat le'doretan berit olam. Ki shesh yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat lasod et HaShabbat le'doretan berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat v'inafash, Shabbat v'inafash, Shabbat v'inafash. V'shamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat lasod et HaShabbat le'doretan berit olam. We now rise on page 39 for the Amidah prayer. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasedim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imaot, U'Mevi Geula Lifnei B'nechem, L'man Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Li'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atah Rab Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mekalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Ba'al Giburot, Umido Melach, Melech Mimit, Umechayei, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata Lechachayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol, Atah Kadosh V'Shim HaKadosh V'Shim B'Chol Yom Ya'alu Chasela Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. We daven silently until page 47, where we'll join together for Aseh Shalom. we're going to join together for Oseh Shalom on page 47. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael. B'emeru, amen. So this past week, I had the privilege of attending Stephen Wise' Recharging Reformed Judaism Conference in New York City. It was an exciting gathering, an uplifting gathering, and perhaps most importantly, an affirming gathering. At a moment when so many Jews are asking difficult questions about the future of Jewish life, about the future of Israel, and the future of our movement, this conference was not a place of despair. It was a place of conviction. It was a place where leaders, rabbis, educators, and lay people came together to ask what it means to be Reformed Jews, conservative Jews, Jews of all across denominations at this very important juncture of Jewish history. The conference centered around a simple but powerful concern, particularly for the Reform movement. The Reform movement must rediscover and strengthen what its connection to Am Yisrael, that is the people of Israel, who we are. For generations, Reformed Judaism has championed the prophetic ideals of justice, of equality, and of human dignity. And we've spoken passionately about repairing the world, what is known as Tikkun Olam. We've fought for civil rights, women's rights, LGBTQ rights, immigrant rights, and countless other causes rooted in the understanding of Jewish values. These commitments remain essential, but many speakers at the conference, they argued somewhere along the way, and I agree with them, some parts of our movement became focused on universal concerns, so much so that it had weakened our connection to our particular selves, to the Jewish people and ourselves. The challenge before us is not choosing, though, between universalism and particularism. Judaism has never demanded a choice between the two. Rather, Judaism teaches us that our universal obligations emerge from our particular identity. We care about all humanity because we are Jewish. We seek justice because the Torah commands it from us. We defend the vulnerable because we know from our own history what it means to be vulnerable. The conference repeatedly turned to a powerful ideal, and that is universalism unmoored from particularism is not Jewish universalism. And throughout history, Jewish communities that have abandoned their distinctiveness in pursuit of broader acceptance often discover that they lost not only their identity, but eventually their influence as well. The real Jewish genius has always been our ability to balance both commitments, to care deeply about humanity while remaining deeply rooted in our own history as well. This conversation has become especially urgent post-October 7th. Many speakers reflected on how the massacres in Israel and the worldwide responses exposed profound moral failures within institutions that many Jews once trusted. They include universities, media organizations, social movements, and cultural institutions that often speak passionately about human rights, while they fell silent after the events of October 7th, where they could not condemn murder, rape, kidnapping, or torture of Jews. Many Jews experienced post-October 7th a painful awakening. They discovered that universal values alone cannot guarantee Jewish security. And the events of the past 2 years have reminded us that Jewish survival remains a sacred responsibility. The conference therefore called upon Reformed Jews to speak with greater moral clarity about Zionism, Jewish peoplehood, and the state of Israel. One of the most significant resolutions debated at the conference focused on leadership formation within Reformed Judaism. The resolution called upon Hebrew Union College, the Jewish Institute of Religion, our movement's seminary, to cultivate a deep, informed, and lived commitment to Jewish peoplehood, Zionism, and the State of Israel among all future rabbis, cantors, educators, and communal professionals. The proposal was not simply about political positions, it was about the very core identity to the Reform movement. It was about ensuring that those seek to lead the Jewish people understand that they are part of the Jewish people. This is the time, and at a time when Jewish campuses across the United States face an unsurmounting amount of anti-Semitism, Hebrew Union College must not turn into just another campus. Anti-Zionism and anti-Israel sentiment must be understood as anti-intellectual and blatant racism. Yes, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. The proposals were about recognizing that leadership requires more than intellectual knowledge, it requires emotional commitments, it requires solidarity. A rabbi may not agree with every Israeli government policy, neither do Israelis themselves. Healthy debate is part of Jewish tradition, but a Jewish leader must care about the fate of the Jewish people and of the Jewish state. The conference argued that the commitment should be reflected throughout the educational process, from admissions to interviews and to ordination and eventually graduation. The message was clear though. Jewish leadership requires Jewish peoplehood. And one speaker made a striking observation. He noted that many distinctions that once separated Orthodox, conservative, Reform, and secular Jews have become less important as in an age of rising anti-Semitism. When Jews are attacked, no one asks what denomination do they belong to. When Jewish students on campuses are harassed, no one asks whether or not they keep kosher. When rockets fall on Israeli cities, those rockets do not distinguish between religious and secular neighborhoods. Our enemies often remind us of something we need to not forget in our own people, and that is we are one people. We are one people, Am Echad, as we say in Hebrew. That reality carries both a warning and an opportunity. The warning is that not one Jew stands alone, and the opportunity is that not one Jew stands alone as well. We're connected by history, memory, destiny, and responsibility. This brings us to one of Judaism's most beautiful teachings. The Talmud teaches us that we must rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. Jewish leadership begins with empathy. To be a Jew means to feel the joy of one in each other's simchas as though it was our own. It means to feel the pain of another Jew's suffering as it was our own as well. It means recognizing that what happens to Jews in Jerusalem matters to Jews here in New Jersey. What happens to Jews in Paris matters to Jews here in Monroe Township. What happens to Jews in college campuses matters to every Jewish family. That is Jewish peoplehood. That is covenant. That is responsibility. The conference challenged us to recover that sense of collective belonging, not because we seek to withdraw from the world, but because we no longer care about humanity, but because we understand that Judaism's contribution to humanity depends upon continued flourishing of the Jewish people. If the Jewish people disappear, the Jewish voice disappears. If the Jewish state disappears, the center of Jewish civilization disappears with it. If Jewish identity disappears, the values we cherish lose community. The values that we cherish lose the community that has carried them through thousands of years. The future of Reform Judaism will be not secured in becoming less Jewish. It will be secured in becoming more Jewish, more connected to Torah, more connected to Israel, to the state of Israel, more connected to Jewish learning, more connected to Jewish community, more connected to one another. May we have the courage to embrace that inheritance, though. May we have the wisdom to balance our universal responsibilities with our particular commitments. May we have the moral clarity to stand proudly as Jews, and may we continue to strengthen the bonds that unite us with one another, with Israel, and with the generations of Jews past, present, and future. King Yiratzon, may it be God's will. Amen.
Hey, Rabbi, can I just quickly
Yes.
say that actually ties really well into this week's parsha, and actually leading up to it. You know, we just got out of Leviticus, all of
Yep.
these laws, very dense and legalistic, and now we're on the census, and it's very a lot of repetition and redundancy with the Sotah ritual
Yeah.
in the middle, but again, all
Yeah.
of that. And what I take from that is the importance of each and every one of us continuing on with the covenant. They have to mention each and every tribe and each and every leader, and it's the importance of each and every one of us to continue on
Yeah.
to fulfill the covenant, because some people are going to fall off and be led astray, which makes it even more important for us as individuals to keep going, which is why my heart's so full seeing a little baby with all these books, come in here today. So yeah, it just all ties in really well with Parsha. Just wanted to say.
Thank you. I agree. Do we have any questions? Anything that we want to ask? It was a really wonderful conference, and I think it was very important to be there. It was very concerning when any institution may abandon its commitments, and the institution that I had come from they have, as every institution has, a set of guidelines that you shall be admitted into the program from, and then graduate from the program with. And that is a very important thing for every single institution to have. You have a set of guidelines for Harvard, you have a set of guidelines for Rutgers, you have a set of guidelines for every institution that exists out there. Well, Hebrew Union College is no exception from that. However, increasingly so, it has been that we found students that have been graduating from the institution and admitted into the institution that defy the very logic and underpinnings of Reform Judaism. So they may say upon entry into the institution that they don't believe in Zionism, or they're anti-Zionist, or by the time they graduate they're anti-Zionist. So one of the things that Rabbi Hirsch had introduced at the conference is that we need to have set guidelines if we're going to continue to persevere as an institution. And part of those guidelines include the expectations that people adhere to the foundations of the very Reform movement. And part of that is Zionism, as it is part of our very core identity as Reformed Jews. Do you have any questions?
I think it's important. One of the things, even though there's a lot of room for dissent and debate within Judaism, hard lines have to be drawn, because if everything is Judaism, then nothing is Judaism. And that does seem to need to be a hard line at this point, because it is creating problems for the rest of us, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
And just as similar as it would be when you enter into the institution, if you were to interview there and they ask you a question like, what do you think about gay marriage? And you would say, I oppose it. Well, then you don't fall in line with the values of Reform Judaism.
Yeah.
And similar to that, if you are interviewed there and you say, I don't believe in the state of Israel, then you can just as easily, one may say, don't fall into the lines of Reform Judaism as well. Or for that matter, conservative Judaism. Too.
Also, allowing these people to go on and be educators, it distorts Judaism.
Yeah, well, most, I should say, don't end up anywhere. They just end up graduating, and then they don't go off to any careers. That's sort of the end of their careers right after they
become rabbis.
They do become rabbis, but they don't get jobs anywhere, because they go to places and they say things that are ridiculous, like they don't believe in the state of Israel existing, and then no one wants to hire them.
That sounds like an awfully expensive, fancy piece of paper that they got
It
themselves.
is, yeah. It's a great use of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wonder sometimes that we are, not us our own enemy, but like that the difference between Reform and Conservative and Orthodox.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be like a continuum rather than like a split?
Yeah, it is in many ways a continuum. It's not really
because, I just see that people segment themselves, which is not good.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people that come from different backgrounds into this community, and so we don't really segment
No, we go, I mean.
Yeah.
As a whole.
As a whole.
The whole
some
style.
communities.
Yeah, I guess, I don't want to say more observant, but as you get more toward Orthodox, they seem to be much more judgmental about Reform and Conservative.
All right, any other questions, or? No? All right, we're going to turn to the Misha Barak prayer, and in just a moment, I'm going to recite names from our Misha Barak list, and then we're going to join together. Today's Misha Barak list includes the following names: Prima Riccio, Asher Ephraim, Evelyn Levy, Colson Jones, Michael Glaubach, Ira Roth, Jay Sinkoff, Meir Dov Ben Yisrael, Rebrena Chaya, Nachman Ben Zev Wolf, Vimalka, Angela Heller, Oliver Olson, Eileen Smith. I know. Are you better?
I'm getting.
Or do you want to
I
be
can
on the
try
list?
now.
Okay, well, we still have you on the list.
Thank you.
Joel Silver. Are there any additional names we would like to have added for today?
Dolly and Roger Bloomfield,
Dolly and Roger Bloomfield,
the Hockenberry family,
the Hockenberry family,
Frankie Barr.
Frankie Barr,
Amanda Kushner.
Amanda Kushner. Okay. We join together now for the Misha Berak prayer. Misha Berak Avotenu Mekor Abrecha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Beirach Imotenu Mekor Habrecha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We rise for the Elenu on page 49. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latet gidula leotzem breshit shalo atzana kikiye aratzot velo samanu kimishmachot arama shalo sam kalkenu kachem v'gor aleinu kichocham onam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim livnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu She'unatei shamayim v'yoser haaretz u'moshev yekaro b'shamayim mima'al u'shchinatu zo v'govei meronim Hu Eloheinu enod emet malkeinu efes ulato Kakatu v'torato v'yadata hayom v'hoshevota ela bebecha ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim mima'al v'al haaretz mitachat enod. Page 50. We therefore hope in you, O eternal our God, soon to behold the splendor of your might. Then will false gods vanish from the earth, and the idols will be utterly cut off. Deal the world to the sovereignty of the Almighty. Then will all acclaim you as their God, and forsaking you will turn to you alone. Let all who dwell on earth acknowledge that unto you every knee must bend, and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you, O eternal our God, let them humble themselves to your glorious name, and then give honor. Let all accept the yoke of your dominion, that you will rule over them soon and forever. For the dominion is yours, and you will rule in glory, as it is written, the eternal will reign forever and ever. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. We now turn to the mourner's Kaddish found on page 52. In just a moment, I'll be reciting names from our list. Okay? From our Yortzeit list, as well as members of our community who recently passed. After the names have been read aloud, if you're observing a Yortzeit or in the period of Shoshim of the loved one, please share with us their names so that we as one community may pray for the elevation of their neshama to Shemayim above. Today's list includes the following names for Yortzeit: Bernard Belzer, Jack Silverstein, Stanley Bloom, Herman Finkel, George Ivers, Gertrude Bolstein, Ed Lichtenstein, Morris Kasdan, Betty Hires, Loretta Sheffman, Ruth Lewis, Lawrence Leibowitz, Morris Schwartzberg, Molly Ubrakis, Morris Friedman, Sadie Bodak, Arnold Diamond, Margaret Panachi, Sydney Schwartzberg, Beth Schwartzberg, Sheldon Ubrakis, Howard Katz. Recently passed from our community are the following names: Fred Mushko, Jeffrey Milstein, Phil Garfinkel, Evelyn Sheff, Shoshana Ilana Bogdavora, Eli Oster, Roy Smith, Faith Shauna Small, Elaine Gordon, Ruth Topol, Alan Netterman, Regina Pasternak, Ruth Doss, John Hockenberry III, Beth Lizarowski, Frida Mizrahi, Jonah Friedman, Ricky Tripp, Jeff Hodis, Esther Captain, Alan Steinberg, Shimon Ben Abraham, Marcy Bader. Are there any additional names anyone would like added to our list for today? Yes.
April Dolch.
April Doach. Yes.
Linda Adams.
Linda Adams
And Sherry Butcherwald.
and Sherry Butcherwald.
Be right there.
Okay. Any additional?
Okay. Gabriel Levesque,
Gabriel Levesque,
Saul Laurie,
Saul Laurie,
Paul Beller,
Paul Beller,
Mark Goldberg,
Mark Goldberg,
yes, and Rich Bernardo.
Rich Bernaldo. Okay, We turn now to page 52. Please remain standing if it is your custom, and if not, you may be seated. Page 52. Yiskadal v'yiskadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach yirasei v'yanlich machusei, v'chayechon v'yonechon u'chayedecho beis Yisrael, b'gala v'izman kari v'yimru amen, ya'ei shmei Rabbah mevorach l'olam olamei almaya, Yisbarach v'yishtabach v'yispa'ar v'yisroman v'yisnasei, v'yishadar v'yishaleh v'yishalal shemei v'kudesha b'rechu, Le'ela min kol birchasa v'shirasha tushbechasa v'nechamasa damiran v'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabbamin shamaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Ayiseh shalom v'imrama v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved, and let us say, Amen. You may be seated. We now have an opportunity for announcements.
Talking with the Rabbi is next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Torah study is next Thursday at 11 a.m. Please come for Shabbat worship tomorrow morning at 10:45. This Sunday, May 31st at 11 a.m., the Bible players will perform for our Hebrew school. All ages are welcome to attend this fun Bible show. Flyers are in the lobby. Also, Sunday, May 31st at 12:30 is an education meeting. Our annual congregational meeting is Tuesday, June 2nd from 7 to 8 p.m. 30 members are needed for a quorum. Vote on the new board and constitutional revisions sent by email. And here are plans for 26-27. Can't stay? Please vote and have some refreshments before you're on your way. Circle of Friends Chinese restaurant get-together next Tuesday, June 9th at 6 p.m. $20 per person payable at the restaurant. RSVP by next Friday to Marcia Sinkoff or the office. Pride Shabbat will be celebrated Friday, June 12th at 6:30 with music and a special guest speaker from the Knesset organization. We are looking for lay leaders to lead Friday night Shabbat services on July the 24th and 31st while Rabbi is on vacation. Please see Max if you're interested. Please note that the Rabbi has switched his scheduled days off from Monday to Tuesday through the end of August. ShopRite and Stop and Shop script available in the office, payment by check only, and call ahead to confirm availability. Sunday, June 28th is our next blood drive. Volunteers are needed and donors can sign up at the redcrossblood.org. Sunday, October 11th is our third annual car show, a huge fundraiser for the temple. Jody Grant really needs volunteers now to begin promoting the event. Please see the flyers in the lobby for details. For more information on any of these events, please speak to a board member after the service, call the office, and as always, check your weekly emails.
We're going to conclude our service with Adon Olam on page 53. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa Lechevzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra B'yachai Grei Kilo Takol Levado Yimloch Nora Behu Haya Behu Oved Behu Yeh V'tifara Behu Echad B'ein Sheni Laham Shilo Le'achbira Beli Reshi Beli Tachli Belo Ha'oz Ve'hamizra Behu Eli V'chayego Eli V'tzor Chebli V'yesara Behu Nisi Umanosli Menat Kosi B'yom Ekra B'ya'ado Akid Ruchi B'yetishan B'ya'ira B'im Ruchi Geviati Adonai Li Velo Ira. Good Shabbos.